What's up, everybody? Scott Leese here, one of your co-hosts for the What's Your Story podcast. And I want to tell you about today's guest. His name is Morgan J. Ingram. He is based nowadays out of Phoenix, Arizona, but originally from Atlanta. He is the founder of a company called Amp Social. Morgan is a machine on social. He was doing video years ago on LinkedIn before anybody was talking about it. He's got almost 200,000 followers on LinkedIn. He's a big time sales influencer, public speaker, and he helps companies grow and build their brand and amplify their message. And we are so stoked that he was able to join us in studio here in Scottsdale, Arizona for the What's Your Story podcast. We talked about all sorts of things from sales and business and entrepreneurship to heartbreak and failure and religion and faith and pickleball. And Morgan's stated goal to make the 2030, maybe it is, Olympic pickleball team in the U.S. So we hope you enjoy this episode. Morgan's got a lot of energy. He's a great guy. Give it a spin, and we'll see you this time and next time on the What's Your Story podcast with Scott Leese, that's me, and my good friend and partner, Mike Lindstrom. Enjoy the show. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of What's Your Story? I'm Scott Leese, here with my good friend and co-host, Mike Lindstrom. And, man, it's been a day.
It's been a day, but it's been a week. We're bringing more of your friends in today, more of my friends today, meeting new people. This is great. It's one of my favorite parts about the show is meeting new people.
I'm a point guard again.
You are running point guard. You're sitting in the point guard spot.
Conductor's chair here.
We'll see if the viewers can figure out what the point guard stuff means later on.
Yeah. We got another great story to bring you today. It's a friend of mine, known him for quite a while, actually, 6-7 years, maybe. Big shot on LinkedIn, other social media. In fact, Morgan Ingram is the CEO and founder of a company called Amp Social. This is what I know about his story. Comes from Atlanta, gets into video very early on. Used to yell at me all the time, Mike. You got to get on video, man. And I was such a hater. I'm like, just get out of here.
You listened.
Yeah, well, I did, but it takes me a while to hear properly, as Morgan can make fun of me for later. But he ran a super successful show called the SDR Chronicles for a while. Then he went and worked with another friend of mine, John Barrows, and now he's transitioned out and he's been running his own show for a while. So welcome to the show, Morgan.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. We start off every show, the same questions, name of the show, what's your story? So you take that any direction that you want, man. What is your story?
Yeah, I like to tell people that I'm just a very dangerously curious person. Because you just mentioned it. Like, I was doing video on LinkedIn when people were like, what are you doing? People were like, I don't know what this person is even going and doing. So I've always been a person that's always just curious on what's going on. I think when I first got into the sales development rep role, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to figure it out. When I joined John, I told him directly, like, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm going to figure it out. And I went off on my own, as you all know, like, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm going to figure it out. And that's been my story, is going into things that excite me, but I don't really know what's going to happen. But all I know is as long as I commit myself to learning and being a student, that I can learn what I need to know to go be successful, whether it's sales, content, video, whatever it is. I've always just been a person that is just dangerously curious.
What's the first thing that you can remember being super curious about?
Okay, y'all gonna laugh. In middle school, it was selling Pokémon cards.
Pokemon cards. Was it something about Pokemon cards specifically?
Or it's a couple of things. How deep do you want to get?
Okay.
The art of selling them or just collecting them? What about?
It was three
Pokemon
things.
Cards?
So, when I started collecting Pokemon cards, it was just as like a hobby. And I went to Toys R Us and I saw people playing Pokemon battles. And I was like, what you can battle with Pokemon? I didn't know this. And so I saw them battling. And I was like, what are y'all doing? And how do you get these cards? And they're like, oh, well, we buy our cards from like China, or we go out of town to buy our cards. And I was like, how much are you buying these cards for? And they're like $100, $200, $300. I'm in middle school. That's like $1 million. I'm like, wait, whoa, I can be a millionaire. So I remember going home and like doing research. I'm like, how do I buy cards from China? And I remember just like playing the system and like learning arbitrage. And I think that was the exciting thing to me.
Yeah.
It reminded me of like, I don't know if you ever played this game. It's like really old school, but RuneScape, where it's like you would go barter in the black. Yeah, he knows, what I'm talking about. So it's like you would go barter in like black market. It felt like that to me. So I would like go buy cards from China. I buy them in bulk. And then I started selling them in middle school. And I went to a private school. So people were paying $100, $200, $300 for cards because they knew that they could get.
You were in the right market for that.
I was in the right market.
Yeah.
But then I think the most exciting thing to me is that I built like a team. So
you had a team.
I had a team. I had a team of people selling these Pokemon cards. So I would buy the cards. And then I would distribute to everybody and say, hey, you get X%. And then we started expanding into other schools. And then they started selling the cards.
You're the kingpin.
I was the kingpin of Pokemon cards.
Kingpin of
City Empire. This was in Atlanta?
This is in Atlanta.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I started going crazy. And then I know if he ever watches this, he can get a laugh out of this. My principal called me in the office and they told me to stop selling the Pokemon cards.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah.
If you got to a level of, we got to shut this off.
They were like, we're going to like have to kick you out of school if you keep selling the cards. So I just stopped selling at the school and I sold other schools. But yeah.
That's
you still know the principal?
I still do.
Do you really?
Yeah.
So it's funny because
we're cool.
They remember guys like you.
Yeah, we're cool. We're cool. He actually ended up being one of the basketball coaches for high school. So we saw each other again, and then we just had a laugh about it.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
That's good.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I wonder if now he's like, well, I know where Morgan got his sales chops. I know where Morgan got his entrepreneurial, instincts from.
Yeah, but that was the first thing that got me so curious, and I went and I saw. I think it was the first thing I got curious on. I got excited about, and I saw the rewards from it, and I was like, okay, well, that probably can happen in so many avenues if I continue down this path.
What's the thing that is the most recent thing that you've become curious about?
Great question. I think for me, it's actually been, it's a little bit more of my own, I guess my own being is the best way I'd put it. It's actually more personal. It's more in depth. I become very curious about my alignment with God is like very important to me right now. But the other thing that's a part of that that's important to me is how have I shown up in the past and I didn't realize how I was showing up to other people and how that could have affected my relationships and the way that I carried myself.
Mm.
So I've been very curious on like, how have I been showing up that I didn't even realize how I was showing up? And it was a lot of ways where maybe I was angry or doubtful, and that's not the energy that I'm trying to project or portray. And so I've been very curious on like my energy level and how I carry it to each conversation.
Yeah.
So it's been very, to a degree, probably more spiritual as my internal curiosity. Yeah, that's been the biggest,
a huge theme of the day. Actually,
I was just going to say, I cannot believe
that thread can be pulled across.
Actually, I can't believe
all these people have been through, which means perhaps we're tuned into that.
Our frequency is we've had frequency, beliefs, attraction. Through guests today that have said almost in their own way the same thing. My question is, because now that I'm learning from other guests in this, what happened? Like, was there a moment in time? Did you like have an epiphany? Because everyone said there's like some moment of time or something that took place that created that trigger moment where you're like, okay, I'm leaning into this curiosity harder.
Yeah. I actually shared this with a close friend the other day, so it's very timely you asked that question. Everyone experienced COVID in 2020 in different ways. I'm not trying to relive that for anyone, but for me, that's actually what happened. So I was working with John, and at this point, I had really understood my role of training and brand and things of that nature. So we were booked out for the next 4 or 5 months starting in 2020. I was going to Australia, I was going to New Zealand, I was going to Thailand, this is what I've always wanted in my life. I felt I understood my brand voice better than I ever have, and I felt like I was in real flow in my content. I had confidence in the skill sets that I was sharing with sales teams on how to actually sell and prospect. And I lived 5 to 10 minutes away from my friends in Atlanta in the exact spots we always wanted. And I was like high on life. I felt unstoppable, to be fair. Like I was like, I'm out here. Like I felt it. And it quickly went downhill. So a week before COVID, I tore my Achilles playing basketball.
Remember that? Yeah.
And that was like I felt very, I guess, human in that experience. Because I was, I can't walk. I had to wear a boot for like 2 months.
It's humbling.
very humbling. And then, but then the next week we went on like, you had to stay inside. So I felt like I was on house arrest because I had a boot on. I felt like I'm stuck. And at the time, I was dating someone in Canada, so I couldn't see her. So I felt like I was disconnected from my relationship. And then because of everything that was happening with COVID, I wasn't able to see my dad because he was just susceptible, I think that's what they call it, to like, if I had it, then he could get really sick and potentially die. So I felt very alone in that. And then all the training stuff went away because we're not traveling. So I think it was a moment where I was, is the brand that I've built, is the things that I said to be true worth it? And I had this energy from 2016 to 2020 that I wanted to prove everyone wrong. And it's an energy that can get you very far, but after reflecting on it, it can't be the energy you carry forever, because it's a very negative energy to a degree. Because if I'm trying to prove everyone wrong, that's the only thing I'm looking to do. So I could easily not have deep relationships. I can easily derail conversations. I can just be so, to a degree, transactional, because that's the only thing I'm trying to prove. And I remember sitting there by myself in 2020 being, there has to be more than what I'm currently doing right now. I need a deeper connection because I can't continue this way if I feel this way. So then that's when I went on that journey 5 years ago. But I definitely would say, as I've gone on the journey, 2024, I went on a men's retreat. And I think that's what really connected me on the highest level. We went over something called the Healing Circle. I don't know if y'all have heard of this before. But basically, for the audience, if you haven't heard this before, it's 6 categories that you rank out of 10. So you have a score out of 60. And it's health, relationships, career, mindset, faith, and I'm forgetting the other one right now. I believe it might be, I think I mentioned fitness or health, career, mindset. There's 6 of them. And so you rank them, and I remember ranking them for myself. Oh, finances. And I remember ranking them for myself, and my relationships was like 5 out of 10. I was like, what? And I was like, my faith was like 6 out of 10. Like fitness was like 5 out of 10. And everything else was high. And I was like, to what end do I want to continuously keep doing this where all this is like 2 out of 10 and everything's 9 out of 10? Like, that's not a life I want to live. So I think 2020 set the precedent that I needed to work on it. And it's been the work that I've been doing for years. And I felt in 2024 was the visualization of, I need to do even more doubling down work.
What is some of that work that you started to put into practice as soon as possible? Like real tactically, 1 step, 2 step, 3, like what is that work?
Yeah. Number 1 is asking yourself hard questions. Daily,
Weekly, writing them down?
Daily. That's a really hard to do. Like, you'd be like, what is the reason that I get mad at X? Or what are the reasons that this did not work out? And the thing is, in this exercise, you can't blame anyone else.
Yep.
You have to 100% look at the situation as in, what could I have done better? Even if that person, like 99% of the things they did was like awful, and that some situations are like that. But I was really starting to ask myself the hard questions on a day-to-day basis. And it allowed for me to see things a lot clearer. Number 2 is I started writing out, what does ideal Morgan look like? And when you write that out, you realize like, okay, I'm not doing half the stuff that ideal Morgan needs to be doing. And then it goes back to exercise. And step number 1, why? Like, why am I not doing that? What's holding me back? And I say the work I'm doing right now, my coach, is we're working on something called legacy beings. So we're just seeing like, how have I shown up to solve a problem? So one of the things I mentioned is like, I have to prove everyone wrong. And it's like, okay, well, we don't have to pick that every single time. There's a new truth that you can create. Mm-hmm. Or another one is like, it's all up to me. Well, no, there's people who actually love and support you. You don't have to push those people away. Or I feel like I'm going to get betrayed. Well, not everybody's out to betray you. Like, there are people who actually looking to support you. But I had these things in the past that probably prevented me from having deeper relationships or neglecting support when people actually wanted to help. I saw it as a threat. And so tactically, those are things that I did is I asked myself hard questions. I'm writing them out. I'm answering them to myself. Number 2 is I'm figuring out who does ideal Morgan need to be. And the 3 thing is looking at legacy wise. Well, how have I shown up and how do I not show up like that anymore? And how do I now start establishing new truths for myself so that I can be in those new truths instead of the old person that I was across the board?
Does that?
No, I was going to say I always think about the question I ask similar is, I'm at my best when. ...
Yeah.
And then I just start writing when I get sleep, when I hydrate, when I connect with my kids. We asked this question earlier. We all know this. Like when you're in flow, you know where you need to be. but then somehow we get out of it.
Yeah.
We were talking about this in almost all the interviews so far. So how do you manage that when you're in flow and you know what you need to do and you're the best Morgan? Great. We all know it.
Yeah.
But then something happens. How do you manage that when to get out of that, the reload, rebound, or whatever you might call it? How do you handle that?
Yeah. So I think everyone will treat this differently. This is something that I have found to be the best thing for me. And I've shared it with other people and they found it to be great for them is I will say I'm exactly where I need to be inside of God's plan. And I'm not saying that's easy to say and then everything just goes away, but I find myself to be way more calm. So when something's like off, I'm like, okay, I'm exactly where I need to be in God's plan, and wherever he's leading me right now, that's where I need to go.
That's the mantra.
That's the mantra. Now, for other people, you may not include that. That's fine. So you might just be like, I'm exactly where I need to be.
Yeah.
But when you say that, it removes any other factor that's going on, because when you say that, you're not behind, but you're also not ahead. You're just exactly where you need to be in that moment. And maybe there's something that you can learn in this scenario. I will say though, and I've seen John Barrows, he's posted, you've probably seen this, Scott, but like I actually agree with him on this, is like a lot of people will say that everything happens for a reason. I find that to be a level of disingenuous to a degree, because I don't think every single thing happens for a reason. But what I do believe is that you are exactly where you need to be in that moment so you can be present. And there are certain situations that occur in life that are there to teach you a lesson. And it's for you whether or not to decide if you're going to learn that lesson and actually take something from it.
Yeah.
And so for me, in those moments alone, it's just like, okay, I'm exactly where I need to be. And based on that, what is happening in this moment that I need to understand?
Mm-hmm.
And then I go from there.
Powerful. It's good.
And I want to tie that to your Achilles injury.
Yeah.
Which becomes very difficult to get back to playing basketball, which I know was like a huge part of your life.
Yeah.
And then into 2024, when you had this, you go to this retreat and this kind of new awakening.
Yeah.
Starts. That's also the moment, I think,
where
you started to get into pickleball.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. Talk about that journey in this like chapter 2 now of your athletic story.
Yeah. So for everyone watching at home, I won 2 state championships in high school. And I played with Malcolm Brogdon. If y'all are familiar, seen him play. I know he won Rookie of the Year. He's had injuries as well, but I played with him. I played with Antonio Davis' son, AJ Davis. So I played with some like legit people, and I loved basketball. I'd play it every single weekend. I played for hours. I don't know if you ever played pickup basketball. It can be kind of it can be kind of aggressive though.
Oh, yeah.
People be talking trash. You don't know who's out there.
Who's out there?
But it was fun. I loved it. We played for hours, and so when I hurt myself, I felt I lost a part of myself. To be honest with you, I played this ever since I was 5. I did AAU games. I played more games than I can count. I got Washington beat. So when I tried to go back and play, because I tried again, I couldn't do it. Mentally, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do the same moves. I couldn't dunk like I used to. I was terrified.
Was it trepidation because of the injury?
It was because of the injury.
You don't want to re-injure yourself.
I don't want to re-injure myself. It's like, I'm not getting paid millions of dollars to do this.
Yeah.
Like I'm just playing with Joe, Bobby, and Jackie. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not trying to kill myself. So
nor do you have the access or the time available to rehab.
Exactly.
Like you would if you were a pro athlete.
Exactly.
Or whatever, right?
Exactly. And I was like, I did my own self rehab. So I felt like that I could just walk again because it was just like a hard thing to get into. Right. So I was like, what do I want to get into? And so I couldn't figure out the sport. Nothing was like clicking with me. Nothing was exciting me. And I remember moving here. So I moved here a year ago to Arizona, and I'd never heard of pickleball in my life. I thought it was like a joke.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know what it was. And I was like, I guess I'll go play. And I remember playing and I was awful. But I remember I think if I learned this though, this could be so much fun. And it was exactly during that time frame, Scott. I remember coming back in January and playing a couple games. And then I decided I'm just going to be really good at this. I got a coach. I started working with him once a week. I started playing 2-3 times a week. And now I'm not 5-0 by any means, but I can hang, I can play. And I've never done a racket sport in my life.
Wow.
So it was, again, that dangerously curious. It was just like, let's just see how far this can go. And I've absolutely loved it. I found a new competitive game. I can bring anyone along. I can bring my girlfriend. I can bring friends that haven't played before. I'm playing against 70-year-olds and they're cooking me. So it's just like, I think that's why I love it.
That is a fun part about that sport.
Yeah.
Is that it is accessible to everybody. It doesn't matter what size, shape, age
it doesn't matter.
I play with some guys who are 60.
They're killing me.
The first time I ever went, I was with my real estate agent who was super good. Is a neighborhood park here in Scottsdale. He's 6'8", big guy, big range. I'm a good athlete. I never played before. I had played racket sports. I'm good. The first person we line up because is a 72-year-old woman and her 11-year-old granddaughter. And I'm like, this is going to be fun.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, don't let the smooth taste fool you. And the first time I started hitting, the old woman starts trash talking me. She goes, oh, we got a rookie out here.
like what? Like what's going on?
Happening? They smoked us, bro.
The grannies are
they're
like, crazy good.
I know.
Do not mess around with them. I don't want to play them.
You gotta be careful.
You gotta be careful.
I'll never forget that.
Oh, you won't. You will not forget it.
That deep curiosity though serves you so well, because once you kind of latch onto something, you're kind of like dog with a bone, dude. You're going all in on that thing. You want to master it. You want to figure it out.
All in. Like my coach, we were talking about commitments that we wanted to make, and I was like, yeah, I'm committed to being like really good at pickleball, and like I want to win a tournament in the next 5 years. He was, let's take it to the next level. And I was like, okay, I'm just committed to being in the Olympics. And that's what I made it a commitment to. Now
Did you write that down?
No, I wrote it down. I literally have a post. Like, I guess by the time this come out, it'll be already out. I have this plan to post on, I guess it'll be August 16th. I already have a cue.
Is pickleball an Olympic sport yet?
So I have you'll see the post. It's like a screenshot. I chat GPT'd it and I said, when is it going to come to the Olympics? And so they said 2032, Brisbane. They're in conversations right now with, I think it's called the IOC, the Olympic Committee. If it does not go in that time frame, they said there's a 99% certainty it'll be 2036. So I'm like, that is enough time for me to be good enough to get to the Olympics. And so like, I'm like, all right, listen, why not?
Why not? Why not?
Why not?
We got this on record.
Yeah, there's
for the first time.
There's a tape. I made the commitment. I will be on the Olympic team. I know I gotta go through a lot of people, but I was like, if it's there, why not?
Yeah. And you had that same conviction around video, and I started off this show by making fun of myself. Morgan's doing all this video stuff and he's making posts, and I'm just like, I don't like these videos.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like watching them. And at the time he was specifically talking about video prospecting. So I started to get these emails or these LinkedIn DMs, and, people were doing it wrong. Come to find out now it's like a 5-minute video. Like, dude, I'm not watching this video for 5 minutes long.
That's not happening.
Right. And he's like, no. If you do it the right way. And I'm just, no. I'm not going to lie. I said no until January of this year. And the trigger point for me was all the development with AI.
Yeah.
And my belief that very quick order here, I don't care what you write. Everybody's default is going to be like, GPT wrote that. Mike didn't write that. Morgan didn't write that.
Yeah.
Computer wrote that. Right. And written form, it's like very hard to prove authenticity.
It is. Yeah.
People who are like, oh, there's an M dash in that. You didn't write that.
Right. Oh, there's a comma, a question mark.
You use this emoji.
Oh, you got an emoji.
Damn, dude.
Got GPT.
I'm like, what letters am I allowed to use? That's what I'm thinking.
You got to write in gibberish.
So I'm thinking, okay, what has a little bit longer runway to prove that you are who you are, and you can't take it away? I'm like, well, video does.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to deep fake stuff. I mean, you already can, but like most people don't know how to do that yet. Right. There's a little bit longer runway. I'm like, I better do something about this.
Yeah.
So why did you have that level of conviction? And now what's the next thing you have that same level of conviction about?
Yeah.
That the rest of the world, the Scots of the world are like, I don't know.
And the Mikes of the world.
You're
probably behind me.
I got my questions coming. I want to hear his answer.
Let's go. I love it. I've always been a proponent, if you look at my track record since the beginning of time, is I like to do things that people don't really like to do. So, and I'll answer your question, but it's important to go like a year back, which is when I left the University of Georgia and graduated. My parents already, my family already knows this. I took my graduation money and I started a business because I was like, well, I don't know what else I'm gonna do with this money. So
other people might be like, oh, I'm gonna save it for a house or go to Europe or whatever. I don't know.
I started a business. They were like, what in the world? So I had a gaming company, and that didn't pan out to be true. But what I did is through that gaming company, I got experience to do public speaking. So I started a public speaking business. Yep. And I told my parents, I was like, if I don't learn anything from this, I'll learn the number one skill that everyone in the world is afraid of, which means that people will probably, if all else fails, they'll at least pay me to speak. at the end of the day. At least I have this one thing. So I started with that and I saw the attention I got. And so I saw how many people just gravitated towards me because of like me speaking in person. So I just took that same mindset and did live streaming on Periscope, if y'all remember that app.
Oh, yeah.
And so I did like 3 live streams a day and I saw how much attention I got from that.
3 a day.
That's insane.
And so then I was
now
like,
that's insane. That's a lot.
oh, yeah, I was going crazy. So then I was like, okay, well, if people receive this, then like, what if I just took this to LinkedIn where no one has ever seen this before?
Yeah.
So I had previous experience with like other little experiments. And so I felt so convinced that it would work on LinkedIn because the only thing people were doing on LinkedIn is writing blog posts. And I was like, well, if I actually show up as a person and a human, I'm pretty sure people would be, I have no idea what is going on. So that's the reason that I showed up that way. And I was so convinced on it that if people just saw me and they felt this relationship towards me, it would change everything. And it ended up being true and it ended up being right. So that's why I was convinced at that point.
Yeah.
So
all right,
next thing.
Well, I got to jump in here because I've been wanting to. I've been
Yeah.
for a week. I'm going to be asking. This is my high heat. All right, so I'm all in on video. I'm doing not as frequently, but here's my limiting belief. Coach me through this one.
Yeah, talk to me.
And I'm doing this not only from my own self, but me watching as a consumer.
Yeah,
I have a belief that because now all these other, I'm not calling them like newbies because I'm glad people are coming into our space. Okay, there are people in my industry. I'm like, dude, what are
fresh blood,
Yeah, like, at least you're trying. That's a good start. God bless, right? We listen to the coaching, but now it's become so consistent. Same picture, same backdrop. So in my mind, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to mess with this a little bit. So I like Scott. You'll see the same angle, same hat, or whatever. You can see the guy, the guy that does communication where he's in the car. You see Andy Elliott on his stage, taking his shirt off. I mean, everyone's got their own stuff, but it's consistent. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So for my stuff, I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go dark for like 5 days and just hit them with something random with a different angle and backdrop.
Yeah.
Like this one right here. No one's seen any posts from us yet with that backdrop.
It's a great backdrop.
I appreciate that. But
I walked in, I was like, oh, all right.
yeah, this is cool. We just found out about this the other day. So I'm like, if I post that video, I bet you, because people haven't seen that before in my face or in his face, it's going to get a lot. And it's not just because of the backdrop, but if I do that backdrop every day for 21 days, you see this start to happen. But if I go dark for like 5 days and then I come to a different backdrop, and I'm hitting you with variable reinforcement, rather than consistency, because you can read everyone will tell you, Andy L will tell you, Gary Vaynerchuk will tell you, just keep going. And I'm thinking like we're almost at that point. I don't know. Maybe it's just me as a consumer where I'm like, I don't know, man. If it's all. Is it strategic? Be smart and space it out. Are we going there? Or you're like, Mike, don't fight it. Just lean in, do 3 a day. I'm serious because
I know coaching. The thing is that like it's actually not an either or. I think it's both. I think it's an and conversation. So the reason that I would tell people just put out as much content as possible from a video perspective is that first of all, you just need to do it because you need to understand like what is actually landing with people. And you have the right idea, but I find that most people will take that idea of being like strategic and they use that as being lazy.
Yeah.
I don't think that's you, by the way. But people will hear that and be like, oh, I can just be strategic, but you're really just being lazy.
Yeah.
Like, you just don't want to do it.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm saying, no, it's an and. Like, you do need to, I would say, hey, I'm going to make 30 videos for 30 days. If it's the same backdrop, cool. But like, it also just doesn't matter. Like, do the backdrop here, do it outside, do it on a mountain. Nobody cares. Like, just figure out the flow of it. And then we could figure out from that, this is what people like me to do. So I should just do more of that. So I believe in what you're thinking about and I actually lean more towards being kind of shocking people a little bit because I think people are so accustomed to seeing the same thing over and over again. Because if they do see your same backdrop maybe too many times, they're like, I've seen this video before.
Right.
Even if they haven't.
Right.
So another thing that I think is really important for people to do, especially if you are an education type of content creator or whatever you may be, is I'm really a big fan of mid-form videos. And what I mean by that is videos that are like 3 to 5 minutes and it's like a screen share of something. Hey guys, I have this document. I'm just going to walk you through these steps.
Teaching something.
This is super casual because there is a level of, I believe in high production. And I did production as part of the business in the beginning, and I'm all a fan for that. But there's also a level of people that like don't like the overproduction. They just want a conversation. So I think there's videos where it's like I fire up a doc, I just got some bullet points, and I'm just talking to you.
And make that more home base for like me, us, like what this will be on YouTube as an example.
Yeah.
YouTube there. That's not an Instagram, or that's not a LinkedIn, or that's a YouTube for sure, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, there's the guy, his name's Sam. I'm forgetting his last name. The workout guy, Sam. He's like blew up. He's got like millions and millions of followers. He does all his videos on just like an iPhone, showing him, hey, here's me working out. Here's me after my workout. Here's what I eat. Lo-fi to the lowest degree. And so I think that it's important to show that, hey, I can be lo-fi and I can just have a conversation with you, because that's what people want. But there's some levels where we do need a high production of what we're doing. I think having both is important, but I do believe find your different spots you can do them. I would not say I'm going to do this one thing only. I'd be do some screen share videos, do a casual walk, do something like in here, and that will lead to success for you in videos.
That's good. Well, that's good. I agree. I think I always say the middle's the answer somewhere, at the end of anything like that.
Yeah.
I just know that there's certain people I love watching that I'm like, man, I could skip him for a while, because I already know where to go to his YouTube channel when I want to watch him. But if I'm just getting hit. And I think LinkedIn is a little bit different. Like Instagram, I think it's okay to pepper, TikTok, pepper.
Yeah.
Well, I'm speaking more about LinkedIn.
That's what I figured. That's why I answered that way.
Yeah.
Like we've noticed, and when I do videos, and I don't do it to the same volume I did in like 2016, 2019, because the video reach is bad, even though they're trying to push. That's a whole different conversation. But like
they're trying to push it.
They're trying to push it, but like the data says it's not working. So I don't do things that don't work. But I do still believe in mid-form videos. Hey, I'm in Sales Navigator. I'm going to show you what to do. Or like I had this document of how I talked about, I'm exactly where I need to be. It's like, here's how I do that every single morning. Like people want the real conversation on what you do. People want to feel like they're getting the secrets of your life, or the secret conversation they know they couldn't get. And here's a document that I work off of. Here you go.
Yeah.
One thing about you that I've noticed and appreciated, and also been like, oh gosh, because you've pivoted your business a couple times with this focus and then that focus.
Yeah.
And I've always thought, man, Morgan knows who he is. He knows his niche. But then I'm watching, I'm like, maybe he's still trying to find his niche. Exactly. So you've landed in this space now, and I want to give you a chance to talk about Amp Social and like what you're up to and what you're building and all that. But before you do that, what has that pivoting process been? Has it been hard for you to really just lock in on like, no, this is the thing, and not have to recreate it a year from now, 6 months? There's been a couple little pivots.
No, it has. It's tough. I think the big thing for me is when, and we had a conversation off my own, but like I was exhausted. 2016 is when I started creating content.
Yep. No days off, creating, always doing a webinar, always talking about sales, doing in-persons. And I felt like when I went off on my own, even though I built something what I'm known for, I didn't want to talk about it. It's almost like you want to kill the thing off that you became.
Yeah. And I know that sounds, people are, oh, well, Morgan, why would you do that? You're in the first position. It's hard to describe unless you're there. You just are so exhausted. And you're like, I don't even know if I have the energy to speak on this right now. And so I wanted to when I started off my own, I did something that I would have obviously done differently. Is I was so focused on like what I wanted to do, and I didn't focus on what the market wanted or doing market research or what the demand of the market was. I was just, I want to do influencer marketing. I want to create shows and I want to produce stuff. So like, I don't know, we'll figure it out. Like that was me.
Yeah.
I wasn't focused on positioning or anything, like the things that I should have been doing or the demand that I was getting for other stuff. I just rejected it because I don't even want to think about it. And so for that first year and a half, like I made money, but I found that I was just, people were, I know you for this thing, so I can't associate with this other thing. And so I had to like go back to the drawing board and be like, okay, I'm going to have to pivot, but I've never had to like do that before. So I felt like I failed.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know how to like talk about it. Like, I picked the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't, not to say I'm not the end all be all, I'm not Nostradamus, but like to 2016 to that point, I hadn't really picked the wrong thing.
Yeah.
I had been in a lane and it worked and it continuously had worked and it compounded and it just kept growing. And I hit this point where I was, this isn't working the way I want it to work. So then I pivoted and I think it's this. It started working again, but then I realized I actually didn't like it.
Even though you were doing well with it.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this.
Because I saw it actually being a massive bottleneck to me.
I remember when we did relationships, my partner Dan and I, in 08, 09, 010, our book came out in 2010. And that year we had a 1-year publicist agreement. And my goal that year was to do something traditional media, this going TV, radio, all that stuff, at least basically the equivalent of once a week. So even though I wasn't once a week, I was going to get like 52 hits somehow.
Yeah.
And I did it. And I remember probably halfway through the year, I remember getting a call from a big national television outlet. Dude, we want you on tomorrow morning, where people in my space would die.
Yeah.
And I'm like looking at my watch. I'm like, fuck, I get up at 6 a.m. I gotta tell the same story about the same book.
Yeah.
My book that I wrote for 2 years that I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized for me, I'm like, you know what? Maybe this dating guy, marriage relationship guy, now that I'm married, I'm having kids, and this is not me anymore. So a lot of our guests have talked about chapters, right? The chapters are iterations of who they are. I'm curious, like, where are you at on that? Because I don't know about your pivots and what chapters you've had. I've heard you tell some timelines, and I'm adding it up. So 25 forward, what's the chapter now? Like, what version of yourself are you working on for you?
Yeah.
As we look at where we're at with AI, with tech, with video, what's that for you?
Yeah. So, kind of answers your question, right? Like, what is it now? So
next,
I changed it to AMP Social because I realized at the end of the day that I had to look at the totality of my career, not just like what I was known for. What I mean by that is the being of what I've done is I've just made things more human. And I connected with the people in a different way than maybe how other people would. So when I first started creating content, it was video. I was doing other stuff. I was doing social selling. I was doing these different things that were innovative. And I changed it to AMP Social because in a world where AI is running rampant, how do we make sales more human, and how do we make the interactions more human? That's the whole entire mission that I have right now. And in order for me to do that, I also have to be more aligned in being more human my own self and seeing how do I make sure that the technology doesn't just warp you. Yeah. It's super easy to wake up and just talk to ChatGPT all day and not even have an original thought. Like, that's a real thing.
Oh, yeah.
So I changed it to AMP Social. One is that because of the decline of cold emails, because cold calling is still relevant, but it is the only channel most people convert on, I leaned on LinkedIn because that's my career. I started on LinkedIn. I know how to prospect there. I know how to use Sales Navigator. I know how to create content. So I can teach people that. And so social selling, right, is on the LinkedIn. So I was like, let's niche down and let's just help people with this. I know this extremely well. I'm excited about it, and I want to learn more on it. And then the other component of AMP Social is, you've been on this since the beginning, is like, what are we doing with in-person stuff? How do we do like these mini events with organizations and make sure that they work? How do we make sure we're bringing people together? My true belief is that everyone is going to learn how to have an AI agent, AI bot, and you're going to log into these social platforms one day and be like, I'm talking to bots and the content is bots. Why am I here? Yep. I'm not saying everyone's going to leave, but there will be a point where people will start to leave more and more. I'm very aware of that.
I agree with you.
So if that's happening, how are you going to interact with people? Well, you still got to be social, and I'm prepared for that for the next decade on what that needs to look like and how to interact with people. And I was talking to somebody about this that really dives into, it was Todd Capone. He was talking about like the history of sales. And I asked him, where did social selling come from? And he's like, well, social selling in the beginning was just meeting people in person and being social.
Yeah. Imagine that.
Yeah, it's like, oh, yeah, really? Right? Yeah. And so really what my focus is, where are the people at? And how do you be social with those people? Right now, majority of people, they're on LinkedIn. If they go somewhere else, I'm going to learn the strategy for that. When people go in person, I'm going to have the playbook and strategy for that. So AMP Social is just, how do we interact with people where they're actually at to start conversations that inevitably lead into business? And then ultimately, how do we build a network of people that can support and trust us? Because ultimately, right now in the market, people can build products like in seconds.
Yeah.
Put in a query, put in a prompt, you build the website. I'm really big on how do you overall gain trust in the market? And that's like the end game.
Yeah. And that's one of the only things that is protected still.
Yeah.
Or like a moat, right? Yeah. Like your network is your moat. Who you know is your
community,
moat.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Who you can pull in for an event,
yeah,
join you on things, that is a moat.
Yeah.
Who asks you into their network or their sphere, that is a moat.
Right.
That's not something, at least as of yet, that AI and tooling and automation can take away.
No,
So
right?
true.
the social skills, I believe more and more people will come to me. They'll probably come to you and be like, how do I get my team to have a conversation?
Yes.
And some of you are going to laugh when I say this, but like, it's already happening. People are like, my people don't know how to talk.
Well, Mike and I can talk about this a little bit.
Yeah.
I know you don't have teenagers like we do, but my teenagers have this issue. And I know Mike's teenagers have this issue.
Yeah.
And I think mine are decently adjusted on that spectrum of things compared to other people.
Yeah.
They can't.
Yeah.
They can't have that conversation.
They can't
kids.
talk.
And those kids are, I don't know, spitballing 5 to 10 years away from being in the market as early professionals.
Yeah.
They're going to arrive there. How do I have a conversation with somebody?
Yeah. So I'm building my community. I know he uses circles. I use Kajabi. So I'm building my online community of my VIP graduates of 150 people. I've coached them in the past, CEOs, leaders, athletes, very prominent people. So I've been loosely polling them and say, hey, you're only going to have privacy to all this stuff for a few months before I go public. When I go public, we're going to have online coursework and all this stuff. And I want feedback. What should be the number one course I should do based off of all your guys' life experience? Number one answer was, I want you to be able to teach my 21 to 24, 25, or 18-year-old how to conversation and go back to the old school. That was the number one response. I'm building it right now for this community.
It's exactly what I'm saying.
I never would have thought that was the answer.
Yeah.
I just, as I talk to more and more people, I realize that like people don't know how to have conversations digitally because they focus too much on AI. If they go in person to have a conversation, they don't know what to do. And then also as well, even if they are having the conversation, they don't know how to keep the relationship going so they actually have trust within that network as a whole. My main focus right now is I just niche down on LinkedIn because I know it very well and that's the focus. And I've really been focusing on simplifying the way that I look at things. But the social part is going to be the most in-demand skill in the next couple of years. Like everyone's going to figure out how to do AI, but it's like at some point someone's going to have
That'll all even out.
Yeah.
And then the differentiator will become, oh, you have social skills.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
Yeah. It's going to be big.
I love being a speaker. My mentor was Tony Robbins. So that was I'm blessed, lucky, whatever, right out of law school. My first job.
Yeah.
Working out of law school was Tony Robbins.
Great start.
Right. Yeah, I was not bad. You start at the top. It's tough to go from there, but I learned from the best of the best. So the lineage of Jim Rohn, Les Brown, everyone that's, Brian Tracy, on and on, Ken Blanchard, some of the guys that I grew up with. But I'm 52. I gather I'm a little bit older, but thinking about speakers or people that you look up to or people that you're honored, because I know you have a speaking business, noting and doing such. Who are some of the ones that you look at and say, this guy's had a big influence on me, or this one I've talked to or connected with? You don't even have to know them. These are people that have had influence on you.
I saw Ed Milet speak.
Stuff.
And it was one of the most powerful talks I've seen in a very long time. It's very rare where you look around the room and half the room is crying.
Yeah.
Like tears. And it was moving when I saw him speak. I was like, there's just levels of speaking where you're like, that's a different level.
Yeah.
You have to be so aligned in yourself and so aligned to a different realm spiritually to even get there. So I immediately thought of him because I just remember he was speaking in people's souls. Like, I'm getting goosebumps right now. I'm just thinking about that talk. I was like, man, this dude is locked in. Like, I don't know what he did before this talk, but he was moving people. I really, really liked him. Another person that I think is a really good speaker as a whole is I like the way that Cody Sanchez speaks. I got to see her speak in person, and I like the way that she speaks with a level of practicality and conviction that gets people to actually go take action in the things that she's talking about. So I think that she does a phenomenal job. And then I had the pleasure to see him multiple times, and I've chopped up with him a couple times. Chris Do, he runs a channel called The Future. He's not he's not a rah-rah person at all, but I like him because he really gets you to think. And he really shows visuals in a way, and he tells such a fantastic story because he has a design background and makes you feel like alive and present in that presentation. So all three of them are different for different reasons, but those are the three immediately. But I would say Ed Milet immediately comes as number one. Like, I just was like blown away by that.
Yeah. Now, in your speaking world, do you have like a standard keynote that you would deliver off the shelf, or do you mix it up based off the client? How do you deliver?
So I have,
when it comes to the speaking part.
Yeah, when it comes to the speaking part, It's depending on the audience of who I'm speaking to, but there's typically 3 that I normally do. So the first one is called the 5 C's, which is basically like the 5 simple steps to have LinkedIn as your ultimate lead generator. So that typically is for business owners. That's for people that are on the sales team.
Yep.
I think the one that it really resonated with me is I went to go speak to actually Sony's photographers and business owners around like how to use LinkedIn. And Scott, you probably experienced this before. It's like talking to people about LinkedIn that are not in SaaS is like the greatest thing ever. It's like you've literally are like the Messiah. It's like you've come out of nowhere and they're like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, can I just have this every day? Like I gotta convince y'all this works. And they think that you were like godsend. But no, that was an amazing talk. That crew was amazing. But so that's one of them. The other one I have is influence is the new outbound. So I talk about how you need to have your internal executives and you need to start tapping into content creation, primarily LinkedIn, but I also talk about how it's applicable to any platform across the board and how you do that. And then the third one, this one is brand new, and I have been very shocked at the feedback I've gotten from this one. I just like, I know you weren't able to make it out from Montana, but I still have goosebumps about this talk because I like prayed before and I was like, hey God, just take the wheel. Like, I just feel like this is important for you to say. The talk is called The Circle of SaaS, because it's about that healing circle I told you about. It's a play off of The Circle of Life, Lion King.
Yeah.
But it's about those 6 categories. And I literally write out what I have the workbook with me that I did during the retreat. And I just went through like, hey guys, this is like what I ranked myself. And like, this is the low point that I was at, what I just shared here with you all today. Like, I remember at the end of 2021, I hit all my goals in my notebook. I made the amount of money that I wanted to make. And I remember being empty about it. And I was, that's weird. I thought I'd get a parade if I hit these goals. Like, why is there no celebration? So I talked about that moment. Like, that's why I need to focus on these other areas clearly. And so within that, I just went through those categories and I just talk about how people can start looking at this for their life and how leaders can take this to their teams, how leaders can talk to their other leaders about it. And it was moving, man. Like I'll share one feedback I got, and that's why I've just been praying for more opportunities like this for the Circle of SaaS, because I just think it's a talk that I think I need to do more of. Is I had someone come to me and they're like, hey, like, just so you know, based on this talk, I reflected after, and the things that I'm now going to do with my kids, they're going to see a better mom. And I just,
priceless.
It's just like,
that's a win.
That's a win. Like, you know, cool. Like you generated, 30x your ACV. Like, like that's cool. Like that's a good proof point. But for someone to come to you and be like, I'm going to be a better mom. That's just different.
All right, man. Before we get out of here, 2 fun questions.
Yeah.
Okay. Original Nintendo, slightly before your time. Original Nintendo, Super Tecmo Bowl. Play this game?
Super Tecmo
Bowl.
No, I haven't.
It's a NFL football game on the original Nintendo.
Okay. I see the visual.
We're going way back.
Yeah, that's a way back. Yeah.
You never played this game?
I haven't played this game, but I know what you're talking about.
Oh my God. I was going to ask, what team would you be?
Oh no, I know the game. I hadn't played it.
You remember this game?
Yeah, but it's been a while, bro.
What team did you play?
I don't remember, to be honest with you. I'm telling you.
I know what you're talking about, but like,
I'm telling you. I would tell you. I don't.
Okay. Next question. You and I.
Gotta replace that question.
You and I need to have a pickleball match.
Yes.
And we'll broadcast it.
Yeah.
And we got to make this happen.
We will.
You're the only person that I know that on our kind of LinkedIn like circle or whatever plays pickleball with anywhere near the frequency that I play.
Yeah.
So I want to try to find a way to make this happen.
Okay.
Have some fun with it.
Yeah.
You in?
I'm 100%.
Can I be the guy in the middle talking trash and whatever?
You can be the announcer.
I will. Here's the
what a forehand by Ingram.
Here's the benefit. Somehow we have to have a contribution to this. Could be a nonprofit, put some money on the line,
charity,
or whatever. Charity.
Yeah, charity.
Yeah.
And we make it a thing. And I would like, because I know the two of you well enough now where I can sit there and trash talk to both of you guys.
Oh, so it's a 1v1. It's not like we're not getting a partner. It's 1v1.
We can play singles.
Okay.
But then after we have that match and we'll feel each other out, then we should find a way to play doubles together and enter a tournament or two.
Okay. That'd be cool. It's like the journey. This is what we learn about each other. And then I like that.
Yeah.
All right. I'm in.
I'm challenges on the podcast, bro.
No, I'm in.
Hey,
I'm in.
Hey,
he's already.
I will accept the challenge.
No fear of committing to things publicly.
I've already made a commitment. So I can't.
So we got. Are we doing it in Arizona?
Yeah, we'll do it.
Both of us are here.
We'll do it.
Yeah.
Next time you come out.
Next time I come.
Okay, we'll make it happen.
Yeah, we'll
we
make
got
it
plenty of pickleball courts in this town.
Oh, there's a lot of them.
All right, before we get out of here, what are you working on? What's the next thing that's coming up? What can you kind of tell the people about?
Yeah, so like I said, company is AMP Social. Our main focus right now is helping you with social selling and generating more conversations and meaningful pipeline on LinkedIn and beyond. And so the main thing we're actually working right now on is a webinar series. It's called like human-led outbound, essentially. As this will come out, we're probably going to be on the 3rd iteration of our webinars. So definitely go check that out. If you look at my LinkedIn, you'll see everything we're talking about there. We're going over how to outbound on LinkedIn, how to create content, sales navigator, how do you get from people from LinkedIn to IRL. One of the things I believe right now is URL to IRL. Like, how do you get people from digital to in-person relationships? Because that's important. And then a big thing I'm working on right now is the flagship offer we have, which is the LinkedIn revenue engine, basically helping your team use LinkedIn as a revenue engine, not just a resume site. So how do you actually have the right strategies and techniques in order to do that for whatever size of company you're at? So those are the things I'm working on and really excited to see how they all pan out.
Awesome, man.
It's awesome.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Seeing you, spending some time. We appreciate you hanging out with us for an hour or so today. Listen, we've had a great time talking about life with Morgan J. Ingram, CEO and founder of AMP Social. Mike, it's been a blast, man.
It's another guest I could talk another hour with, man.
I mean, I think that's
we got to bring him back.
That's a sign that we're picking the right guest.
We got to bring him back.
That we don't want the episodes to end.
No, I love it.
Well, we'll be back sometime soon, and we'll see you the next time on What's Your Story.